So there is this bottom signal for Ethereum, and it has been right every single time, and I will show you why. 2018 it hit the line, exactly the bottom. 2022 it hit the line, exactly the bottom. Now we are just getting close to this line, so is the bottom in soon? I will let you know, and I will show you what we have to watch now and at which price level we actually hit this bottom. Hello and welcome back everybody to my channel, and today I have a little special for you. I don't have just one, but I actually have 3 indicators for you that show us where's the bottom of Ethereum, and in the end of the video I will show you the exact price level at where you can accumulate more Ethereum in case you're interested to double up your position. So let's just jump into the charts and see what is actually happening here. It is very, very clear. Every single time that we have been here, that was 2018, that was in 2022, and both times, exactly when we hit the line on the 2-week RSI, we had the bottom in. And right now we're getting very, very close to this line. So this is a very, very strong signal. The 2-week RSI is very long term, so that's a strong signal. If something happens here this significantly, it's a strong signal about it. Today we want to speak about why this is important and what other charts we have to watch. I told you I don't have just one. So this is the first chart, but I would not just trade based on one single chart, and I would not trade based on just the RSI, and I don't recommend you to do so. So every single time that we actually see a signal where we think, okay, this is very convincing, this is very clear, we have to find confirmation and we have to retest our conviction that we have here. So the second signal, and therefore it's really important, guys, that you understand that. Because if you value your portfolio only in US dollars, you might not understand my analysis. But trust me, the analysis Ethereum towards Bitcoin is the most important. So we have to look at both levels, not just at Ethereum towards US dollars. I know we're all here to make US dollars, but we have to see the Bitcoin valuation. And when we look at that, we're in a downtrend, constant downtrend. We've lost by now 74%. And we're in a downtrend since December 21. And this predicts us, okay, is Ethereum in an up or in a downtrend? And this is why I say this is important. Because it looks very much like we're reaching the bottom here. So we're actually at a very interesting level now that could be the bottom. If not, there's 2 more levels that we can tag. The first one is another 15% down. The maximum would be the bottom from last time, would be 32%. I don't think we go that low. Because we saw on the indicator before we're getting close to actually our bottom signal. And there's the third one, and I will show you why I don't think this is going to be the case. So when we look at this chart, it's really important to have a look at the Federal Reserve balance sheet. Here we can see in the pink line how much money the Federal Reserve has on the balance sheet. And you can exactly see when the top was in was when the Fed started QT. And since then, Ethereum is in a downtrend. And when did the uptrend start? It was exactly when the Fed went from QT to QE, or ended QT. I think end of QT is actually what we need. That's going to be enough, because you can see in the 2017 bull market there was no QE, and we had a massive run. Like Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin insanely, but it was not QT. And right now we still have strong QT. So as long as we have QT, it might be the reason why Ethereum is not going up. So the end of QT is really important, because you can see exactly when the end of QT appeared, Bitcoin started to lose against Ethereum, or Ethereum started to perform against Bitcoin. So as you can see very clear here is, as soon as QT ended, actually Ethereum started to be strong against Bitcoin. Like the low was in, we had a little correction, and then the rally actually started. But what happened is COVID hit. And I think if COVID didn't hit, then actually the rally would have started and continued from there. Because you see, as soon as the concerns with COVID were gone, we were printing these massive candles against Bitcoin. And it continued until it was clear that the Fed is going to stop QE and is actually going to start cutting rates because inflation concern rise. That's why it topped a little bit before the curve actually flattened, because here it was already clear what's going to happen. The markets always are forward looking. So they knew, okay, there is no liquidity coming, so probably markets go down. And since then, Ethereum is in a bear market against Bitcoin. We never managed to really pump against Bitcoin again. So when it's end of QT now, so the Fed says that quantitative tightening is not going to end now, but the market predicts that it's going to happen in May or June, so this summer. And we actually have a meeting next week. So it could already end by next week. More likely is May or June, which coincidentally would really fit with our RSI. It would really fit with the RSI that we have here. What are we looking at? There's a third one that is really important that we have to look at, because QT will not appear, and this is important you understand, QT will not appear as long as the markets are doing fine. And herefore we look at the S&P 500. I know you're in crypto, but the traditional markets dictate where Bitcoin is going. You can see we have this big correction happening here. So since this happens, it's also why Bitcoin is going down. Every time we enter the green box on the RSI on the weekly chart, we're getting closer to the bottom. You can see that every correction ended somewhere here in the green box. And now we're entering the green box. As I said, I think there's a bit more downside to come, but we will find our bottom very soon on the S&P. And this will be also the bottom for Ethereum. You can see that they're all about to bottom at the same time. So what are we watching now? We're watching what the Federal Reserve is doing. You can see it exactly here. When they stopped QE, the markets went up, then COVID came. Otherwise, the market would just have went up continuously. Then QT starts, markets go down. Actually, traditional markets performed quite well here in the end. But when QT ends, I think we see the next big leg up. As I said, we need some weakness in the markets. Otherwise, our coins are not going to go up. We've lost already almost 10% here. And if we look at this before, we had the same situation here. We had to lose, what was that? About 15% that the Fed changed their view. And the Fed is looking at the markets, the Fed is looking at the unemployment rate and at the inflation rate. Inflation is coming down, unemployment is going up. So now the market's showing weakness. I think we're getting close. I think soon we will see that the Fed actually turns around. And what we want to look at is, what are the next levels? So the next levels we have here, we can see on the Fibonacci zone, we're tagging right this level. If we're lucky, this has been it already. If we're lucky, this has been it already. We don't have to go lower, and that would be it. If we go lower, the next level is here at 5,100, and I think the strongest level is here at 4,800. I don't know if we have to go that low. It depends on when the Fed is actually going to turn course. If they wait too long, we could go as low as 4,800, and that would mean Ethereum still has a bit room to grow. So as I said, QT is expected for mid-2025. And when QT ends, if Bitcoin starts rising, if US dollar follows, and we have to look a bit at the past, what happened 2019. So we had actually trade wars in 2019 that escalated within the autumn time. So it was a similar situation that we have right now. Trade wars between China and the US. It was tariffs. It was the same thing we see right now. They settled at some point because they found a deal. I think the same is going to happen now. And then the first cases of COVID-19 came, which was really shit because that took the whole market down, and I think it actually interrupted the whole bull run extremely. So what was it then that caused the Fed to actually stop lowering their balance sheet and actually switch to QE? because that was already in September. That was before the trade wars. That was before COVID. What happened was a liquidity crunch. So that means the Fed can only reduce the balance sheet until a certain time. If they hit the point where they went too far, they need to put liquidity in the market because there is not enough liquidity. This is what happened there. So right now they're saying, we're never going to have this problem. We can go on forever, which is not true. They can go on for a long time, yes, but not forever. So at some point they need to switch away from QT. Otherwise we get a liquidity crunch and they are forced to put liquidity into the system, as we saw 2019. Final question. I know you've been waiting for that. What is my price target for the bottom? And guys, please take this with caution because nobody can give you a price prediction for anything. Every price prediction you hear is wrong. There's so many numbers, so it's so hard to find the right one. But I can give you a level that is very likely, and it makes a lot of sense. And I will explain to you why. So the level we're looking at is the high from 2018. I know it's quite familiar. We had this with Bitcoin. We're looking for the high from the year before. Here we're looking for the high from the last cycle. And why is this interesting? Because if we put our Fibonacci levels, it's exactly the 786 level. So we have a double confirmation and there's nothing in between. So that's the next level. Otherwise, the next level is at 900, but I don't think we go that low. Because if you look at the RSI and we looked at the signal, we're soon at the line. And I think that QT is going to end soon. So why would we go there? The only way I see that we fall below this is in case of a recession or something else bad in the world happens. It's definitely a buy the dip scenario then. So we're looking at this price level here. And if Ethereum comes here, I will open a position and go long because I think that's the time when Ethereum actually starts. And I think that's the time when Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin. So let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think we have to go that low? Do you think we go lower? Do you think Ethereum has no chance because there is no narrative, they're doing nothing new? And you think Ethereum is just a dinosaur and the time is over? Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe and see you next time. Ciao.